Hey everybody, welcome to Tim's Vinyl Confessions. Tim Derling, my wife Sarah's here, Gordon's here, Ellie's here somewhere. We might see Theo. And we're here for the latest edition of the Fleetwood Mac Deep Dive and promotion of The Sound That Haunts You, Beginner's Companion to Fleetwood Mac. And if I haven't said it for the last few episodes, I do want to shout out Sally Ann Morgan's wonderful, wonderful artwork on this front cover. And one of the things that I asked her to put in this drawing was the cover to Rumours. Guess what? We're here. We have arrived at Rumours, the big one, the colossal monolith of
yes,
whatever, one of the biggest selling albums of all time. So much so that I'm guessing that this is going to be the first of a two-part episode. So yeah, we knew we'd get here, and so we want to give the album its due. The inner sleeve is interesting. It's got a lot of different snapshots of the band on and off stage. Iconic to anybody that grew up and bought the record. And I think it's got the credits on the inside. Yeah, it's got the lyrics and a photo of the band, and
there's a penguin down.
And there's two penguins. One is telling the other, spreading rumors. If you look closely.
Indeed.
Yeah. So, and I talked about the photographer Herbert Worthington, who did the cover to Heroes Are Hard to Find. He's basically their photographer. I've seen his name on a lot of the Fleetwood Mac albums. So, yeah, this album came out in February 1977 and has gone on to become one of the biggest selling albums of all time. I mean, this album, I mean, we talked about this earlier, but you kind of grew up hearing a lot of it.
I did. So I went to visit my mom and dad earlier today because I'd been making notes since we've been up since 5:30 because of the dogs. And so I was curious to essentially ask my mom, because I knew she was a major Fleetwood Mac fan. And Dad said that he always liked them, but he wasn't necessarily a big fan. And I wanted to know what drew her to them, for one. And I know she likes pop music in general, and I know she really likes Stevie Nicks, but I wondered if there was a song in particular, or if she could recall even when she bought the album, or what prompted.
Because she still has this record on her.
She does, but that's because we found it in the basement.
Yeah, but we didn't find, we found this, and we found your dad's Dark Side of the Moon record, and that was it. So,
which is interesting. But I mean,
because they must have had more than that.
Well, she said what she doesn't recall any of the details aside from the fact, and she didn't know the years, that when she graduated from nursing school, that she had a roommate in St. John or she had roommates, I believe, and she bought herself a little turntable.
Okay.
And had started buying albums, and so she's under the assumption that this would have been amongst them. But I said this did not come out until February of 77, so she would have been pretty much, well, they would have been married as of 75, so this is post.
Maybe she had the self-titled.
No, she said she doesn't think she did.
Okay.
So it wasn't as fruitful as what I had hoped it would be.
Well, a couple of things. I mean, not everybody.
Not everybody recalls things in great detail that you do.
When it comes to music stuff, I have a ridiculously good memory for it, and
You're like
things that are actually kind of important and relevant to day-to-day life. Where did you put the measuring spoons? No idea.
He doesn't know.
I found them eventually.
He did, but they weren't where they were supposed to be.
Anyway. So a couple of things. I mean, for
Gordon,
someone that grew up in the era and was an adult right then, it's probably hard to imagine a time when this album didn't exist.
Well, you couldn't avoid it. I think
you know what I mean. Like it was such a phenomenon.
Where, yes, it was everywhere.
Yeah.
Like she does remember "Go Your Own Way" and hearing it on the radio and all of those.
And what's great about that, and you mentioning her buying a turntable, generationally, our niece, who we've
Yes.
had on the show before, and she's done some photography for my books. She has since gotten herself, and she's how old?
16.
She has since gotten herself a turntable and bought, am I correct? It's the only, what does she have for records? Is it all Fleetwood Mac?
Yes. She's
Okay.
got 4 Fleetwood Mac albums.
Yeah. So I think that's fantastic,
Yeah.
you know, but it just shows that this isn't just quote unquote old people's rock music. There's something obviously that resonates with generation. It's a generational thing. And it's strange that it's not like these younger people don't know any other songs by Fleetwood Mac. You know, they'd certainly know Rihanna and Gypsy, you know, whatever. But
Well,
this
she
album,
does.
this album,
Yes, but you have to. So
there's a narrative behind it. There's mythology. It's, you know, it's not just an album.
it's not. But it's not. It's not Lily's favorite. Lily referred to it as basic.
Oh. No, I thought she called it mid.
Well, maybe she did. I don't know. It doesn't matter.
Anyway.
I'm kind of entertained by that. When I was re-listening to it though today, what I'm really struck by is the fact, like, if you think of it, it really is like a greatest hits album that you didn't know
Yep.
would or could become a greatest hits.
Yeah.
But it really is. I mean, the one that I'm least familiar with is Oh Daddy, but I kind of enjoyed that on this subsequent listen.
Yeah, we'll go through it track by track,
Yes.
and it predate. Okay, no, we'll talk about this later. But I want to talk about the whole concept of the blockbuster album, the greatest hits unto itself, and of course it came out at one time. This is the funny thing. Before I started, not before I started collecting 8-tracks, but before
Ellie?
I was into Fleetwood Mac, I saw 8-tracks of Rumours everywhere. Like, it was one of the most common ones. The one I've got now is a rather beaten up and weathered U.S. Columbia House one. I've also got quite an old cassette. This is an old Canadian cassette with a sticker on it instead of the printing. And of course, I mean, pick a CD version, right? This is just your standard Warner Brothers issue. And what I like about it is that no matter how many times they've reissued it, they've always kept that same font on the CD itself.
I feel like you have to, though.
Yeah. People want to see it like they remember it.
I just want to talk, like, just briefly about what makes Rumours so fantastic.
We're not going to assume that everybody knows, but we're also not going to spend a lot of time on it because a lot of people do know the basic story behind it.
Yeah, so I mean, it is and was huge. We can talk a little bit more about the sales if you want to, but ultimately, to me, like, this is my synopsis. It's really more than this tumultuous album of 3 couples going through breakups, but it really does capture all of the emotions around the endings of long-term relationships and the beginnings of new ones. So you you get both perspectives. And I think specifically, like with Lindsay and Stevie, you really get, like, they were a pair, and so you get these two singing to and at one another, which is something rather unique.
It really is. Like, I can't... the dialogue.
It is that. So I said, keep in mind that this band not only wrote and recorded these songs about each other, they also continuously toured and performed these songs on stage for years, singing these rather pointed lyrics directly at each other.
Well, because in a lot of these cases, these pointed lyrics were to songs that were huge hit singles, so they had to play them.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But I mean, you could have
broken up.
Yes.
Or
well, ultimately, yes, it would have meant the demise of the band.
Yeah.
But I mean, this unit, whether financial or however you want to look at it, trauma bonding, I don't know.
Stockholm syndrome. No.
Well, I'm just saying, like, they remained together, and
they felt that it was worth it.
yes,
The end result was worth it. Not, and I'd like to think it's more than just the monetary, but they were better together than they were apart.
the sum of the whole.
Yeah, it was definitely like that. I just opened RIAA.com, so this is the US. So this is pretty crazy. I mean, so the album came out in February 1977. It looks like it went gold almost immediately, so 500,000 copies. By March 9th, it was certified platinum, so there's 1 million. Yeah. Now, this is nuts because October 22nd, 1984, there was another round of recertifications. By October 22nd, 1984, Rumours was already diamond, which means 10 million sold before the term diamond even existed. They just called it 10 times platinum. Mm-hmm. And it just kept going. Another certification in 89 at 13 times platinum, 93, 14. In 1995, it was up to 17. By 1998, 18. By 2003, 19. In 2014, it hit 20, so double diamond. And now, as of July 19th, 2023, it's at 21. And
this is U.S. only, correct?
This is U.S. only. And it's, I mean, I would say, and counting.
Yes,
because it continually gets discovered and
absolutely.
Streamed or purchased or whatever.
So what I had read online, this is Wikipedia, but the estimate was as of 2017, sales were over 40 million copies. That's worldwide.
Yeah.
And it remains like a pop culture phenomenon. I mean, things keep happening where it comes back into the public eye. Like in the, I think it was 2007 maybe, mid 2000s in there, Glee had a specific episode.
Yeah, they had a Rumours themed episode. Daisy Jones and the Six was, now they claim it wasn't, but there's no way it wasn't.
It's totally
there's too many parallels.
And I think that's in part what got Lily interested.
Yeah. And great, you know?
Yeah, why not? Ultimately. And then the TikTok video that went viral for Dreams.
Yep.
Yeah, it's little things. Like, I mean, if you can get a song to go like viral on social media, then you're winning, so to speak.
Yeah.
Because
and there's another viral video. We're not going to talk about that in the first part because it doesn't have to do with a song that's on the original album. But we definitely are going to talk about it, how that went viral and inspired all kinds of things. So as for the album itself, the way that I described it in the book, and I've said this was one of the last chapters I wrote because I was kind of intimidated to write about it because it's been written about so much. There's been several books written just about the one album.
Right, so you kept saying to me, what else is there to say? I think.
Yeah, so I say, if you can, put Rumours on and imagine you're listening to the album from start to finish for the very first time. It really is an amazing collection of songs that was immaculately produced and sequenced. I'd give it a fresh listen. Now, I came into it with a bit of an advantage when Sarah kind of got me listening to them because I knew about, I'm going to say about half of Rumours, but I really wasn't familiar with the other half. So at least half of that album was kind of completely fresh to me. So it starts off with Secondhand News. It kind of starts off unassumingly. It doesn't start off with one of the singles.
No, it doesn't. Because the first single was Go Your Own Way.
Yeah, I want to talk about the singles as we get to them. But
so that came out in December, I read.
Yeah, that's interesting. It predated.
76. Which they do now.
Yeah, they. I don't know how common that was
at that time.
That was like almost 2 months. So it's like, yeah, that was quite a bunch of lead time. Unless the album was pushed back.
It had been.
So maybe they meant for it to come out December 76.
It was supposed to have come out in the fall.
Yeah. See, this was a time when you put an album out a year, not every 2 years. I mean, it was sometimes 2 albums a year. So that was beginning to change. But yeah, so basically, as I look at this now, if this is to be trusted and the release date of February 4th is to be trusted, it took 11 days of being out in the stores in the United States for this album to sell 500,000 copies. That's crazy. That doesn't happen anymore. And that was only the beginning.
Right.
Anyway.
So, Secondhand News, what I find interesting, first off, that it was an acoustic demo that Lindsey Buckingham called Strummer. And essentially he was inspired by the Bee Gees' Jive Talking.
Yeah.
But he wanted to have some sort of Celtic rock feel, which is what prompted the whole use of like what he would call like chair percussion. And I know we've seen videos about that.
Yeah.
So that's quite interesting. Yeah, like
mix basically.
Yeah. Right.
If you listen to that song, it doesn't exactly sound, especially in the beginning, it's like a drum set.
Yeah, but it's.
But he knows what he's doing.
He does, and he's a perfectionist. But also, I found kind of interesting that apparently, allegedly, he initially withheld the lyrics to avoid getting into an argument with Stevie about them. So, and I wonder why, because we get lyrics like, I know there's nothing to say, someone has taken my place. When times go bad, when times go rough, won't you lay me down in the tall grass and let me do my stuff? Love that. Love it. It's essentially an upbeat, practically euphoric chorus. But everything that I've read about it, it is like a really upbeat, gleeful, like F you. Yeah. Essentially like, screw you.
Well, it's almost, it's like shrugging his shoulders.
Yeah, like, because there's nothing else to say.
As it turns out, there's plenty more to say. But it's secondhand news. Always the last to know.
Yeah. But I do find, like, the harmony vocals with Nick's in particular on the chorus, they're very effective. The layered, like, the ahs are really, they're gorgeous. And then you get this electric guitar outro. It's...
Yeah, great solo to take it out. And it's a relatively short song, too.
It is. Like, what is it?
Like, two something? It's not, hold on. Well, we have ways of finding out. 2:43.
Yeah, I knew it was under 3.
Yeah. That's a classic unto itself, the label.
Anyway, so that's secondhand news. I think it's fun. I mean, it is... But you go from, did you want to add anything to that?
No, but it does, it's like the roller coaster's about to begin as far as...
Well, yes, because you go from that, so that's like the upbeat from Lindsay's perspective, and then you move, the very next song is Dreams. And Dreams is of course written by Stevie Nicks.
Yeah.
It was the second single, came out in March of 77.
Yeah, and what's interesting is I find this interesting as far as the U.S. Billboard Hot 100 is concerned. It's their only #1 song.
Yes.
You would have thought that they'd had more. They've had lots of top 10s, but that's the only one that went all the way.
It's fascinating.
But also went to #1 in Canada.
Yes, it did. But that immediate, like, from the get-go, from the very first beat of this song, like, you're essentially into this other world. You know, you go from secondhand news to Dreams, and Dreams is kind of otherworldly, misty, and very mystical Stevie Nicks.
I like that it starts off with the rhythm section. Mm-hmm. And it's simple, but it's very effective.
Yes.
And I don't know if you wrote this down or not, but Stevie was inspired. This was originally called Spinners, because she was inspired by the Spinners song "I'll Be Around."
No, I didn't know.
Which, if you listen to that song, you know the one I mean.
I think so.
Yeah, whenever you need me,
yep.
I'll be. All that does is go back and forth between 2 chords. So does Dreams. It just oscillates between these 2 for the most part. Mm-hmm. So that's why she called the early version Spinners. But she kind of did something with that. I like the spare Lindsay's guitar. It's almost moaning, where it's got the it's like the echo effect.
Right.
Wow, wow, wow. Like it's not over the top, but it's just right.
Yep. I had made note, again, this is internet research, that Christine McVie apparently described the song as having just 3 chords and 1 note on the left hand, and boring when Nicks played a rough version on the piano, but that Christine then changed her mind after Buckingham, who did most of the arranging for Stevie songs, as we know, because she's made complaints about that kind
Yeah.
of thing. But
She's made, it's funny, you know, it's the dichotomy. She makes complaints and yet she's grateful.
yeah, I mean, you can be kind of
You're
slightly.
like, you're glad that it happened, but you're a little angry about how it happened.
Yeah, I get that. I mean, you can be kind of annoyed that you
Couldn't do it
are
yourself.
reliant. Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why didn't I?
As an
Why didn't I
independent
think of
person,
that?
Right. Exactly. But I think that's because it was meant to be as it was ultimately. But apparently, Buckingham fashioned 3 sections out of identical chords, making each section sound completely different. And he created the impression that there's a thread running through the whole thing, which was kind of like a unifier.
A chain, if you like.
If you like, yes. So the other bit that I liked was it includes ethereal spaces and a recurring 2-note pattern on the bass guitar.
Yeah.
And that she wrote the song in an afternoon, which is pretty cool.
Yeah. And here comes Ellie.
Yeah. So I know that, like, and I had read this, that Stevie Nicks felt that this particular song was a more hopeful approach regarding the breakup.
Yeah.
But I don't really hear hopeful optimism.
Well, I think lyrically, it's when the rain washes you clean, you'll know. It's like you'll be all right.
Yes, but that doesn't mean that the relationship will be all right.
No,
like I don't.
No, I think
way.
it's supposed to mean you personally. You're going to get through this,
Of course, which we
You
do.
know,
Like
but-
you do. Like if you've gone through it, you do eventually get to the other side.
No accusations of shacking up on this song.
We'll get to that.
So yeah, it's
But
a
I
little
but I
different
like
approach.
the lyric. So the opening line is, "Now here you go again. You say you want your freedom. Well, who am I to keep you down? Like, you know,
Yeah.
you think I'm keeping you down? Okay, you
Yeah.
move along, right?
Get along.
So she's essentially saying, you want to go, okay, you can have your freedom. I'm not going to hold you back. It's the whole, if you love something, set it free mentality. Maybe it will come back to you. I don't know if that's perhaps the way she was seeing it as hopeful, but I hadn't thought about it the way you were perceiving. I do feel like it's kind of like a dreamy musing on loss, grief, about heartbreak, how it can make you feel like you're losing your mind, like a heartbeat drives you mad in the stillness of remembering what you had. And I do enjoy, she does this a lot, like on later albums too, like the use of weather as metaphors.
Yeah. Even if it's not strictly accurate,
Yes.
it's plenty of times there's thunder without
Right.
rain, and
But-
the dogs hate it. But anyway,
The poetic notion of the rain cleansing the soul,
Yeah.
which is what you essentially had referenced. Like
purify your
yes.
waters of Lake Minnetonka.
Sure.
That's
We're not
another
talking about
story.
Prince. We could. Thunder only happens when it's raining. Players only love you when they're playing. Say women, they will come and they will go. When the rain washes you clean, you'll know.
It's almost like she's saying, "Look, I'm just one. You know, there are others,
Well, she was.
but you know."
It's true.
Um,
They had lots of fun. But too much perhaps. The echoing guitar on the chorus with the harmony vocals is really effective. I think that's what you were alluding to, maybe.
That, and like, I love the part just after the first chorus where it goes dun, 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 dun. I love that part. That's one of the highlights of the song. I think it's
all
it's
the
like-
little nuances,
Yeah.
the layers of it, and he's very meticulous.
there
in that.
really isn't a lot to the song. So to
No.
hear somebody play it on piano, we all know the song now and what it would become, but I could hear it was like, it's kind of basic.
Like something a kid would do.
Well, it doesn't sound complete. It's like, you got a good idea here, but what else is there? What can we,
Well, but obviously, I mean, we've talked about this before, but a good song is a good song, and it doesn't matter. I mean, it's been interpreted. There's been multiple covers of, like, lots of people have covered this.
Yeah.
Different genres. Great song's a great song.
Yeah. Now we have this is a really great song, and I have to be honest. I always, I do credit Sarah a lot with getting me into Fleetwood Mac, because she did. But I first heard this song because of my buddy Chad. He sent me a burned CD a long time ago, and this was a song on it, and I thought it was interesting, but it didn't hit me. But I do remember when we started talking, I'm like, oh yeah, there's that all acoustic song that's got great finger-picked guitar on it. Of course, I'm talking about another song that's very well known, but was never a single, Never Going Back Again.
So this is written by Lindsey Buckingham, so
It could really only be.
we're back to Lindsey.
Yeah.
So it is acoustic. I feel like it sounds deceptively simple because it is stripped down, but it's not. Like the finger picking is quite
It's
exceptional.
his thumbs doing one thing, and it's really quite it's kind of folky.
Hi, Theo. Apparently, this one he called it Brushes, and it was like a simple acoustic guitar tune with some snare rolls by Fleetwood using brushes.
Using brushes instead of sticks, yeah.
Yeah. So you'll like this. So allegedly, after a short fling with a New England woman, he was inspired to write Never Going Back Again, a song about the illusion of thinking that sadness will never occur again once content with life.
Wouldn't that be nice?
He got the wind back in his sails. I was waiting for you to say that.
Well,
been down one time, been down two times, never going back again.
Obviously, this is a song that means a lot to him because he's
Yes.
always done it, and he puts a lot into those.
A lot of energy.
Sometimes he slows it way down too.
But he always, like any performance, he's giving it everything he's got.
Yeah.
Like it's very raw and yeah.
Great song. Yeah. But almost a breather. The energy picks back up. Actually, yeah, well, Dreams was a drop in sort of energy from Secondhand News. Never Going Back Again is sort of like sprightly and folky, but
Yes.
it's all acoustic. So now we have
Don't Stop.
what was
This
the
is
third
first.
single? So this is the only one I have at this moment on 45, and they really went to town with the cover art, with the B-side actually being Never Going Back Again. And so this is a Christine song, but it's Christine and Lindsay on vocals, and it's quite good. Like, obviously, it's had several lives.
It has, and I mean, it's one that gets played a lot. I understand why. It kind of had like a resurgence in the 90s. Like Bill Clinton used it for his presidential campaign in 92.
Yeah.
So yes, it's had several lives is a good way to do it.
Yeah.
I think it really picked up airplay at that point in time, most
Yeah.
likely. I would have said that I don't like. It's not one that I need to hear again and again, but I enjoyed it on the re-listen this morning.
It's probably the most obvious pop single.
Yes, I think
It's got a lot of appeal. Like, you can see why a mass audience latched onto it.
Absolutely. So it's an optimistic song. That's what it's about. It's just, that's kind of Christine's style, I think.
Yeah.
Ultimately, it's upbeat. It's a happy little song.
She's like the voice of reason, right? Like, yes,
Yeah,
I
I
know
think so.
everything's falling apart, but
yes, ultimately. And apparently, Lindsay helped her with some of the verses. And of course, it's essentially a duet.
yeah,
But
great guitar solos on it.
yes, but I mean, some of the lyrics, why not think about times to come and not about the things that you've done?
Yeah.
That's a great forward-looking, like, let's not dwell on the past.
It's also interesting that a lyric in this song was almost the album title. The album was going to be called Yesterday's Gone.
Yes, I read that too, and I was going to get to that lyric as well.
But that wouldn't have. It just doesn't have the same.
No.
Ooh,
No, I think Rumours
What's that
is
about?
salacious, right?
Well, John
I'm
McVie was quoted as saying, "This album sounds like a bunch of rumors."
Yeah. So it'll be better than before. Yesterday's gone, and then the ooh, don't you look back.
Yeah.
At the refrain, like it's just great.
Went to number 3 on Billboard, and actually also went to number 1 in Canada. So they had 2 number 1s in a row up here.
Okay.
Yeah, I didn't know that till just looking it up.
No.
And then, so the song that was everyone's first taste of this album is, it's fantastic, but it's one of the most biting lyrics of
Yeah, Steve. She's still bitter about it.
Yeah.
Not bitter, but not happy.
No.
So it's definitely more guitar oriented. I read it's a 4 to the floor dance beat.
Yeah.
And
once the chorus kicks in.
And supposedly it was influenced by the Rolling Stones' Street Fighting Man.
Yeah.
And I meant to listen to that this morning.
Well, Street Fighting, and it's sort of like, and Ringo Starr did it a lot too. It wasn't your standard boom, God, boom, boom. It was like dun, boom, 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 using the toms and then straightening out the beat in the chorus.
Okay.
So yeah, Street Fighting Man does that too. It's, and I don't know if you've got this here, but it famously, Lindsay heard a DJ play it and
yes.
go, I'm not sure about that one. And he called him up and said, what do you mean you're not sure about that one? And the DJ said, I'm not sure where the one is. So it's hard to find the beat because it's the one is not where you think it would be. It's not until the chorus comes in that you're like, oh, we're here now. I don't know how else to explain it, but especially with that acoustic guitar, that dang, 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 it's because it's like a half measure before where the one is, and but I don't know. That's just
you have to give it a listen. I think it's one
to
of
me
these
that's
things
kind of funny. It's like, and
try.
after a while you couldn't imagine it any other way.
No.
But it is, again, it's a great it's electric and acoustic guitar, and it's powerful. I mean,
yes.
You know, it's
so apparently Lindsay likened the first line of the song, which is "loving you isn't the right thing to do," as being like the start of a conversation with someone, adding that it was about coming to terms with the fact that I might not be over this person. So that's how he perceived it, but that's not how she perceived it.
right.
She was not happy, I guess, and demanded that he remove the line, "Packing up, shacking up is all you want to do." But of course, he kept
And she
those.
always says, I was not living with anyone at this point.
Well, she was living with Christine.
Well, yeah,
I believe.
she wasn't in a relationship,
No.
and you know, yeah.
So she disputed that the fact this shacked up with men while she was still in a relationship with him, and said that he concocted that narrative to irritate her, and irritate her it did.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, you know how to. I mean, by then they would know how to push each other's buttons.
What can I do to irritate you more?
Just twist the knife a little bit more.
So that particular lyric is, so it's "loving you isn't the right thing to do. How can I ever change things that I feel? If I could, baby, I'd give you my world. How can I, when you won't take it from me?" Which I find kind of
well, it's interesting because here, you know, Stevie's perceiving it as he wants his freedom. It doesn't seem like he does, or maybe he doesn't know what he wants.
I don't think he knew, but I mean, she perceived it one way, and obviously they weren't communicating very well, I'm gonna say.
No.
But I did make note as well, the lyric, so you can call it another lonely day, and I wondered if it was like a repeat based on, like, Nick's had the lyric regarding loneliness in dreams, so you kind of get that echo back to the.
Well, which was written
song.
first?
I don't know.
Yeah.
But the guitar soloing is amazing in here, and I feel like sometimes you forget how truly great it is because it's a song you hear so much.
It is a pretty heavily played song, but it's the restraint. He doesn't play a lot of notes, but it's so full sounding.
Yeah.
But I even like the little things that, like, when the last chorus, after the first time you can go your own way, he does a wow. He does a little squeal and like all those things you listen for. But yeah, it's a fantastic, like, fade out guitar solo, and
it really is. And then the percussion too, like, is quite something, and I guess it's maracas.
Oh yeah, you can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, I enjoy all those little.
There's always lots of percussion.
Layered too, like, it's just fantastic. And this I thought was interesting too, that apparently "Go Your Own Way" was nominated for a Grammy Award for Best Vocal Arrangement in '78, but lost to "New Kid in Town" by the Eagles.
Isn't that interesting?
Especially since she would
essentially Stevie Nicks lost to Don Henley,
and they would have been dating, I think, at that point in time, weren't they?
Sure define dating. I mean, I don't know.
Well,
they were,
something. Situationship.
Situationship, yeah. Song hit number 10 in the U.S., so it was actually, we talked about this on the self-titled, it was their first top 10 single in the States, which is kind of surprising, given that Rhiannon and Say You Love Me had already been out. But in Canada, it hit the place that those songs stalled at 11. Didn't go into the top 10. But again, chart placement. I'll bet you the songs above it don't get nearly the play. Most of them. Well, maybe there's some of them that there's some probably really bad one-hit wonders, or
Oh, you know that there are.
You know,
it was a good time for that.
Yeah.
Don't we know?
Anyway.
Because Tim makes me do these chart videos upon occasion.
She loves it.
Songbird.
Yeah, so here comes Christine again to whoa.
Yeah. Speaking of whoa,
take 5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, yeah. So you get Christine on her piano, and so it's an intimate and kind of confessional.
Yeah.
Like standard.
And the way it was
for her.
recorded was unique too. They recorded in this big auditorium, right?
I think that was Ken
Calais' idea.
Yeah, that he wanted to do it, have it be like this grand performance in a.
Yeah.
Was she in a stadium?
It was like an auditorium or something.
Right. I love this quote though. I know I forget if it was behind the music or where we saw.
Might have been the making of.
Yeah, maybe. At least so. John McVie, her former husband, recalling that when Christine played Songbird, that grown men would weep. I did every night.
Yeah.
That's such a testament to obviously how he felt about her and how, like that particular song.
Yeah.
But I feel like it's not my favorite.
No, me
song,
neither. It's so slow.
but I can appreciate it.
It's
Yes.
nice. It's been heavily covered. As I talked about, even Willie Nelson did a version of it.
Right, but the opening lyrics are so hopeful. So for you, there will be no more crying. Ellie, you're gonna have to get out. For you, the sun will be shining, and I thought it was in particular an interesting contrast to the more Ellie, get out. The more angsty Buckingham Nicks lyrics.
Yes, very
All
much.
things considered, right?
But that's pretty typical of Christine. Like, she's been called the steady anchor
and I think
of Fleetwood Mac.
I think she was.
Yeah.
But I mean, you get the sadness and the wistfulness. But she's still wishing all of the best for whomever it is that she's singing about.
Yeah. Usually, I think it'd be it's usually their last song live.
Songbird.
Yeah.
The Chain. This is side 2.
Wow. Yeah. It's so good.
It really is.
I can't hear this song enough times. This is not a song.
I love it.
To me, this is a bulletproof song. You cannot tire as soon as I hear the
the opening drum beats, and it's everything, and you are immediately pulled in.
tractor beam.
Yes. So this is the only song that's credited to the entire band.
Yeah.
Famously, it's like pieced together.
It's a Frankenstein of a song.
Yes, and I did kind of try to write down like the bits and pieces. So it was a Christine McVie demo. Keep Me There.
Keep Me There. Yeah, it's a slower tempo track that could have made a great finished song of its own. The hook is when you realize the chorus is the same, is what ended up on The Chain. That's just part of it.
Mm-hmm. You get, and I meant to listen to this earlier too. So I guess Lindsay recycled the intro of an earlier song from a duet with Nicks.
Yeah.
Lola, My Love. Originally released on their self-titled.
It's on the Buckingham Nicks album.
Right.
Yeah. And we've said there's been different times where you listening to that song, you hear bits of what would be.
Yeah.
And that's one of them.
And then you get, so Stevie had the lyrics from an entirely different song. If you don't love me now, you will never love me again. And apparently Buckingham had asked her to donate these lyrics for the verses, which she agreed to.
Yeah. Carry on.
Okay. So I just wanted to, like, the opening lyric, like, so you referenced the bass. Is that what you're going to do? I'm assuming. but the listen to the wind blow, watch the sun rise. It's so poetic, and it feels almost, it does feel cinematic to me. Like you can practically feel the wind, hear it whistling in the air kind of thing, and the sun on your face, and then you hear "Run in the shadows, damn your love, damn your lies." And I don't know if that's a Stevie Nicks lyric, but it certainly
it's
sounds
the curse.
like it.
It's
Yes.
the curse, right?
So that latter line, I feel is practically spitting with like
Venom.
vitriol. Take your pick. And the exchanging of lines between Buckingham and Nicks, the if you don't love me now, you will never love me again. Like,
it's like an ultimatum.
it's extremely powerful.
Yeah.
And then you get like the lovely harmonies of it all, and then in the middle you get the bass solo, like things kind of quiet down, and then you get like the resumption of the.
Now I don't know. This is an acoustic bass. It's a ukulele bass, actually. It's not plugged in. I don't even know if you're going to hear it, but this is one of the most fun and simple bass lines ever.
You can practically, like in my head, I can hear like I was gonna say, you can hear like the screaming guitar, and it's just everything, right? Like it's
so good,
amazing. And then like that ending refrain, like the run in the shadows, that they keep echoing it in the harmony at the end. It's
epic.
It is.
It's an epic song that doesn't have epic length. It's like 4.5 minutes long, but it feels like you've been on this journey.
It's extraordinary. So it essentially, like, you might be singing like "Run in the Shadows," like you want to get away, but like this band, like the machine, all of it, like they are.
You're not going anywhere.
It's the ties that bind.
We've got a tour to do, and then we've got another album to do, and guess what? Yeah. The first, I have to say this, and I mentioned this in my book when I talk about the cover versions. The first time I heard this song was a pretty obscure band, a Canadian metal band called Kick Axe that had 3 albums out in the 80s. They were sort of like a, I don't know, Quiet Riot, Twisted Sister type of band. Maybe that's not a good comparison, but it would be in that circuit. They do a version of The Chain on their 3rd album from 1986, so that's the first time I heard it, and it's an awesome version. It's heavier, but it's very faithful. But when I heard the Fleetwood Mac version, again, not being into the band, I'm like, I still like this song. I still like and it's, so what it doesn't have super heavy distorted guitars, but there's a power in this, and there's an undefinable, there's something compelling about it.
Very.
And
I don't know. I love it. It's one of my favorites. It remains.
Yeah, never a single, and yet
the
second most streamed song from this album, behind Dreams.
So in terms of, I did make a note, pop culture legacy. So we know it was used Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. It was used in the ads. I think it was used in the song as well, or in the film as well.
They're getting off a ship.
I think so. But what I didn't know, because we're Canadian, but BBC Formula 1, it was the theme song from 78 to 96, and then they brought it back 2009.
I think they just used the end of it, like from the bass part on.
I don't know, but I mean, that we're talking, we all know, like, much like Monday Night Football or any of those kind of things. Like if there's a sports, if you're using it as a theme, doesn't matter what part of it. Like it's gonna live on in your consciousness.
Well, it's like Eye of the Tiger or Burning Heart. They're synonymous with Rocky, with boxing.
Right.
So
exactly. Okay. Anything else you wanted to add to that?
No, But after that, it's like. And really, when you think about song to song in this album, every song's been completely different.
Yes.
So there's been no...
But not in the same varied way that what we were getting...
Those early albums, they're not as... It's not schizophrenic, but
That's the word I was going to use.
There's a narrative... It makes sense. It hangs together as an album. But I think I think if you shook up the sequencing in any way, it would wouldn't ruin the songs, but it would ruin the album as a listening experience. I think it's perfectly sequenced.
I intentionally listed, I mean, you know that I like to shuffle typically, but I intentionally listed it as it was intended to be. Yeah. So I think you're right. So the next one is You Make Loving Fun, which is written by Christine McVie. And it was the 4th single that came out in
September. So almost a year. And yeah, I think we should talk about this. So it hit number 9 in the US, number 7 in Canada. It wasn't, I don't think it was as common in the 70s for albums to spin off that many singles, because we as we talked about on the earlier Bob Welch albums, we don't understand why they'd put like one single out and it would be like the least likely song, where there were other potential hits that were sitting on these albums. And even with the self-titled album, there were only 3 singles. But obviously it just kept selling, so the label was probably like, well, let's put out another one. Let's put out another one. So almost a full year of singles being on the chart. Now that's something that happened a lot
later
in the 80s, and Thriller kind of kicked that off, but then you had Born in the USA and Reckless and Hysteria, Purple Rain. So all these albums that became almost like greatest hits albums unto themselves, and that's what's happening here in 1977. Stevie Wonder probably had albums that were pretty big and had 3 or 4 hits off of them too, but this was definitely one of, it just wasn't that. Usually it didn't happen a lot. No, you'd have 1 or 2 songs and then you're on to the next. By then it's time for another album, but they were getting all they could get out of this. But
they put out albums more frequently.
Yeah.
At this point in time too. So do you want to talk about?
So You Make Loving Fun. Now, speaking of Stevie Wonder, this has a clavinet on it. If you think of Superstition, it's a keyboard instrument, but it has a very percussive sound. It's almost like, I don't know, it's almost like, it doesn't sound like a guitar, but it doesn't sound like a synthesizer either.
No. It's
got a very not harsh, there's a very definite beginning of each note. It's not like a gentle...
It's funny, but you don't get, like, I appreciate you saying, like, talking about Stevie Wonder, because with Stevie Wonder, you immediately think, oh, that's kind of a funky sound. I wouldn't have taken You Make Loving Fun. And
if you kept that clavinet riff that she played by itself, it would be funkier. And if you slowed it down a little bit.
Right.
But yeah, they definitely dressed it up and made it more pop.
Right. Do you want to talk about the inspiration?
You know what? I'll leave this to you. This is your... You love this type of thing. Right? The Salacious.
The album is called Rumours.
I know.
You can't not talk about it.
Most people don't know who Curry Grant is unless you're really up on your Fleetwood Mac. Curry Grant was their lighting director, and I just thought of this now. I got to see if he's thanked in the liner notes. Go ahead.
Well, he should be, because he was the inspiration for this song.
He makes love and fun.
He makes love and fun. So apparently, Christine was inspired by this affair that she was having at this point in time with the band's lighting director. To avoid flare-ups, she told her then husband and fellow band member John McVie that the song was about her dog.
Which you can totally see.
I can. I love my dogs.
Dogs are lovable.
They absolutely are. Also, speaking of more... How dare you call me gossipy, Tim? Anyway, during the tracking of the backing vocals, Calais apparently recalled that Nix and Buckingham were engaged in vicious name-calling, but then the tape would start rolling and they'd sing, "You Make Loving Fun," just beautiful 2 little angels. The tape would stop and they'd be calling each other names again. They didn't miss a beat. And you can just imagine it.
Yeah. So, and that's something that Christine actually said she envied about them, not the fighting, but the fact that her and John just didn't talk at all.
They avoided one another.
Whereas Stevie and Lindsay could, what do you want me to sing on this part? Like they could talk business when, for a bit before it eventually became personal.
Like, because we're talking about 2 very driven, passionate people.
And they have the exes at this point, and
right, but
messy.
The ability to, very messy, to compartmentalize to the point where you can talk about how you're going to perform certain sequences and singing at one another when you're thinking, I think I read once where
they were like, your bags are blah blah blah, go get your blah blah blah. Anyway, this B section, how do you want me to
I just can't.
And
You know,
and it, you know, I mean,
very intense.
of course, a lot of these songs have been used in TV and film, but we watch Bob's Burgers a lot, and this was a minor plot point in one episode where Bob and Gene fix this old guy's sink, and all of a sudden they're a plumbing company, and Gene decides they're going to be called Fleetwood Mac, and at the end they're singing "You Make Plumbing Fun."
Dad jokes. Yeah. But again, I mean, this is like we're talking about sweet, lovely lyrics here. So
Yeah.
Sweet, wonderful you make me happy with the things that you do. Another pairing, I never did believe in miracles, but I have a feeling it's time to try. And then I don't know if it's chimes, and I wanted to ask you what it is. But
I think so.
There's something when she
It's
sings
probably
about
a
not believing in
percussion.
magic.
It's probably Nick just doing a swipe.
I think so.
Yeah.
But you get like that kind of little tinkling sound. And then the You Make Loving Fun, of course, is in the chorus, but the backing harmony of It's All I Want to Do.
Yeah.
So you can just imagine them having to sing that behind her. Oh, it's just...
And John pumping a boom, 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 boom. This nice tune here. Like,
Yep.
Next up, this was not a song I was familiar with. I really like this song. There's something very happy about it, and I don't know. I just really like it.
So it's I Don't Want to Know, written by Stevie Nicks.
You can kind of tell though that this is an older song. Now that we're familiar with the Buckingham Nicks album,
and it would have fit in with that.
Yeah.
So you can hear that. So Lindsay's playing a 12-string guitar here.
Yeah.
Influenced apparently by the music of Buddy Holly. It was created in '74. So the time of Buckingham.
So
Nicks.
it might have been meant for if they'd done a second album as a duo.
I'm assuming yes.
Yeah, a few of those.
Yes. So famously, this song was chosen as a replacement for Silver Springs because Silver Springs was too long, ultimately, to fit on the album. And it kind of came along late in the recording sessions. She was very much wanting it to be Silver Springs.
Yeah, we'll get into Silver Springs next.
But ultimately, she didn't want to not have a third song on the album, so this was kind of like, I'll take it kind of thing. Like
I wouldn't even call it a compromise. It was the best. It was like a plea bargain. Like it's the best. You know, what's that police song? When the world is running down, you make the best of what's still around.
Yep.
Yep. Mm-hmm. But it's a great song. It is. It's very old. It's very old timey, rock and roll sounding, rocking and a reeling, and it's got the hand claps, and it's just happy.
I think so too. But I wondered too. Like, I was thinking about this morning. So one of the lines in the song seems to be, to me, an answer to a line in the song that Buckingham wrote for the previous self-titled album,
right?
Monday Morning, but that's an older one too. Like it was intended for the second Buckingham Nicks, right? So he sang, "I got nothing but love for you, so tell me what you really want to do."
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, I don't want to know. Keeping in mind that Monday Morning, yes. So that was part of that. So first you love me, then you get on down the line, and I don't want to know. She sings, "I don't want to know the reasons why love keeps right on walking on down the line."
Yeah, it's but they sing almost the whole song together in harmony. It's beautiful. Like it's beautiful. Great harmonies. I don't know. It's a short. It's relatively short, but it's one of those ones you almost wish. Oh, just do the chorus one more time. It's just so bouncy and happy.
Love it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't want to stand between you and love, honey. I just want you to feel fine. Yeah.
Then you have "Hate Gave Me You as a Lover" from Frozen Love. It's
yeah. Anyway.
But that's it. It's never just one emotion.
No.
It's
complex.
Everything. Yeah.
It's very human.
Yeah.
Ultimately.
Yeah. Next up is generally considered to be the least favorite or least favored song on this album, which is unfortunate because it just happens to fall on an album full of these landmark songs, whereas Christine's "Oh Daddy" is just another good Christine song on an album. It's not. If Stevie had sung this, it would be atmospheric.
Yes.
Because Christine's got, I don't want to say she's got one voice, but you know what I mean? Like she just sings the way she sings.
Right.
I find strange is that she's 2 songs in a row on albums with Daddy. She had Sugar Daddy on the self-titled album. This is the better of those 2 songs.
Yes.
Apparently written about Mick because he was sort of like the dad
he was the
of
only,
the band. He was the only, he's the only one that had kids at this point.
Right, but also from a business, I think that they perceived him.
Well, I mean, I might later on when you talk about some of the decisions that were made as far as some of the albums in the 90s, but he kept his band going.
Yep.
And because John McVie
he
wasn't
was
even,
if you really want to go,
and John McVie, he joined the band, but he wasn't 100% sure. So this is Mick's baby. He's, so yeah, it makes sense. But it's a good song. It's just that, it just has a lot of competition. But you know what? All it would take would be one viral thing, and it might be this song that gets a bunch of streams.
Well, I don't know. Like, the listen this morning, I enjoyed it more than I had previously. The guitar is really nice. The backing components are lovely. It's not showy. I think that's what you're getting at. We've talked before about Christine being the steady hand. It is that. There's castanets on here, which is kind of fun.
Yeah.
Apparently she's playing a Hammond organ and a Moog.
Yeah, I was just looking that up. It's actually I only know this because of an interview I saw with Gary Newman. It's pronounced Moog, like Moag, but it's spelled Moog.
Okay.
But that was an early synthesizer that you
that.
could do different things with. You've got their Led Zeppelin's No Quarter.
Is it?
That's
Which
not.
one is it?
No Quarter was played on a Fender Rhodes with some effects run through it.
Okay.
Fender Rhodes is almost like an electric piano.
Which one is kind of similar then? What am I thinking of?
Don't know. But I mean, a Moog you could do different things with too.
Okay.
But the Moog synthesizer, I mean, if you think of Cars by Gary Newman, that's a Moog synthesizer. But I mean, they could do different sounds. That was the whole point.
Think probably it's putting me in mind of something else from this era. There were a lot of other famous,
right?
Nobody exists in a vacuum, so there's other, all sorts of other musical things going on.
Moog is a very prog rock instrument. Rick Wakeman and Yes, and Geddy Lee had a Moog, and it was. Well, I mean, any musician that had the money, when the technology advanced,
of course you're gonna want the toy.
I want one of those. So
I would. I mean, if money was no object.
So it's a perfectly fine song. It's something mathematically something has to be on the bottom.
Yes, fair enough. So this is the last McVie song on the album. As Tim said, it was written about Fleetwood and his wife at the time, Jenny Boyd. They just got back together, and his nickname in the band was the Big Daddy. Naturally, I mean.
He was tall and imposing, and yeah.
Yes, and apparently she had commented that the writing is intended to be slightly sarcastic and focuses on the drummer's direction for Fleetwood Mac, which, according to her, always turned out to be right. Yeah.
Which leaves us with Gold Dust Woman, which is Stevie getting the final word.
I had this in my head for a long time after I listened to this morning.
Yeah.
So we go from Oh Daddy, which is relatively slow.
Yeah.
Right? To it's a total vibe shift.
This isn't fast in tempo,
Woman.
but it's a different.
No.
You're in that you're in that dream state.
You get
world
pulled
again
instantly.
Yeah.
I refer to it as a witchy incantation of a song this morning, and that's kind of what it is. There's a dobro on here.
Oh yeah, the slide guitar, that would be a dobro. It's sort of like you picture the cover of Dire Straits, Brothers in Arms, that silver. Actually, I think that's called a National Steel, but it's that
Okay.
twangy.
Cool. So allegedly, Nix said that it was inspired by Los Angeles and the hardship encountered in a city like that. And of course, we all know her trials and tribulations of living the rock lifestyle.
Yeah.
But she felt that the lyrics kind of encapsulated her belief in, keeping on going kind of thing. But had you read about the recording sessions of this?
Yeah.
This I did copy over, just because I could picture it as I was reading it. So they would famously party, in the evenings, until early mornings, and then decide to start recording middle of the night kind of thing.
Yeah, they kept different hours than we did.
By far, I mean, we would never be able to exist, Tim. But anyway, they recorded at 4 a.m. And just before and during the final take, Stevie Nicks had wrapped her head, though not her mouth, with a black scarf, veiling her senses to tap memories and emotions. And then we get all the different instruments used in the recording, including an electric harpsichord with a jet phaser.
Well, yeah, if you listen to this, if you listen to Gold Dust Woman on headphones, it's a
I know, and I should have done that.
It's a real voyage.
I really should have. I mean, you can pick up bits and pieces of it, but not.
But you're the breaking glass.
Yes, and so I did want to make mention of that, and Calais apparently said that Fleetwood was wearing goggles and coveralls, and we're talking 4 a.m. I can't even imagine. Yeah, crazy. Yeah. So then the lyric, apparently rulers make bad lovers, lyric related to the influx of wealth. So again, Fleetwood Mac talking about wealth.
Yeah.
It didn't stop any of the shenanigans, of course, but it would be interesting to muse upon. And then, of course, her contemplating how this would affect her life, kind of thing. Apparently, she has said that the dragon and the Black Widow referenced in the song symbolize anger. And Buckingham apparently said that it's an evil, dark song, and that he felt that a lot of the acrimony was directed at him. Of course it was. I mean, he's going to think everything is about him, but probably some of it was.
I mean, a lot of it probably was.
Yeah. And she also added, Stevie Nicks, that Gold Dust Woman was a symbolic look at someone going through a bad relationship, doing a lot of drugs, and trying to make it, trying to live, trying to get through it. So the guitar I felt was almost Western sounding, which is probably due to what
the dobro, but yet it's Western sounding, and yet the overall song almost has an Eastern, like a Zeppelin,
little bit
kind of.
Yes. There's cowbell on this thing.
Oh yeah.
The pale shadow of a woman, Black Widow.
Yeah.
Pale shadow of a dragon, and Gold Dust Woman.
Yeah, it's I mean. And so ends.
But I mean, I think I do want to mention that haunted, the wailing, the screaming guitar, the insistent drum and percussion.
It could only be the last song.
Yeah, I think
This wouldn't fit anywhere else on the album.
Well, you wouldn't want to start it with that unless you were going to build from that to something.
Yeah.
So there was also the cover version that Hold It in '96. So I remember that, of course.
Yeah, that brought the song. That was probably the song that a lot of our generation heard first, because this was never a single.
I think that's the case for me.
Yeah.
But I have great affection for it. Now.
And I think Rolling Stone, around that time, they set up an interview between Courtney Love and Stevie Nicks, and Stevie said, Courtney, I'm not sure what this song's about. I'd have to check my journals. It's just kind of a coy way of,
Well, I mean, Taylor Swift would.
Well, it's not.
They don't like to talk about.
And Stevie's songs are never about one thing.
No, she said that. I mean, you could have one song, and parts of it could be about Lindsay. Parts of it could be about who knows, right?
Yeah.
From her sister to who knows. But yeah, that would have been my intro to it as well.
So as you can see, we're over an hour, and we've just talked about the main songs on the album. There's more to talk about, and so we're gonna split this up into 2 episodes because I think this album calls for it. Don't forget, I'll have the link below. Sound That Haunts You, Listener's Guide to Fleetwood Mac. I mean, you know, our perspective on Rumours is no different than a lot of other people's, but it's in this book, it's how I came at it, listening to hear it for the first time just over 12 years ago, instead of growing up with it and having it being ever present. So I'll have the link below, and we'll be back next week to finish talking about Rumours. Thanks for watching Tim's Final Confessions.